When we get to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we can expect to see many differences between the characters and how they come at odds with one another. But now one of the stars of the series explains how there's many similarities between the two characters. So we can see that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier are friends. We see that Sam and Bucky have mutual respect for each other. They're not enemies. They're not in a type of relationship where they're reluctantly working together. But we also see that there is a certain amount of different perspective and views of the world. And again, this goes all the way back to the core of Captain America, exploring these stories, what it means to be Captain America, and what it means to be connected to that world in the MCU. So it makes sense that, as we've learned recently, we're going to explore more of who Bucky is, where he comes from, and what makes him who he is, and how his mind is scrambled. That on the other side, Sam knows and is more aware of his problems, but also he has to understand that Bucky comes from a different background, and that the two ultimately will have to set some differences aside to work together and agree with one another. So recently, in an interview that's been published as part of the D23 magazine, we see that Anthony Mackie points out that there is some animosity between the two, but it's not ever going to get in the way of them completing the mission and understanding what is right from wrong. And I took that as sort of a understanding that there's not going to be a scenario where the bad guy points out something and he's like, that town or that city, we're gonna attack it. And Bucky's like, yeah, that makes sense, let's do it. It's like, no. Like, he has a moral compass, just the way they approach a solution is going to be different. And this brings me back all the way to what they did with Daredevil and Punisher, for example. They have the same idea, protect the innocent, but their approach to it and how far one is willing to go and the other isn't willing to go that far is what makes them adversaries at the same time as it makes them friends. So I'm sort of getting an inkling that that's sort of what we're going to get here. And then he also talks about the relationship and how that's going to evolve past the series, which then takes it to Sebastian Stan saying that as the series goes on, you feel like these two are an old bickering married couple because they just keep poking fun at each other and they seem like they don't like each other. But when you start to understand their relationship and where they're coming at it from and what they're doing, that you understand that this is all playful and they respect one another. And I think that's what many people can't wait to see. And certainly, the little bit of interaction that the two have had in the MCU, you get the idea that, yeah, they're very good friends and they're going to be even better friends, but their ideologies are going to clash just a little bit.